everyone. Nice to see you again in another episode of Lessons Polite, the channel where we discuss about how we can reinvent ourselves to achieve our fullest potential across all 8 pillars of life. We will often talk about what are the ideal goals that we can set in each of these pillars and how we can achieve those goals. Sometimes, once in a while, we talk about certain negative behavior that we need to avoid. We know it is not a behavior that's going to help us in our journey towards achieving our fullest potential, so that we can identify it and know this is something that we must totally eradicate from our makeup as a person. And secondly, when we see individuals exhibiting this kind of negative behavior, we must distance ourselves from that. Remember, we talked about creating boundaries. So these are the 2 reasons why we once in a while stray from all the positive talk to talk about something negative, so that we can identify if it exists in us, stop it right in its track, break that bad habit, replace it with a better alternative that serves us, and also to avoid people who have this behavior, to avoid engaging with them, to avoid encouraging them, or to even avoid being the enablers of such bad behavior in others, such negative behavior in others, right? We are not discussing negative behavior so that we can call out others on it. Don't bother, because people with negative behavior are not going to listen to you. So it's a waste of time. Just focus on yourself. Focus on those who are inspired by you, those who are directly under your charge, or those who are within your circle of influence. Okay, don't bother about those people who have bad behavior. Don't even think about changing them, because these people will not change, right? So the bad behavior that we are going to talk about is gossip. I am totally against gossip. Okay, I'm against gossip, and I never gossip, right? In fact, when I was in a leadership role in a company that I founded some years ago, I put it on paper in black and white that gossip is an offense punishable by termination if proven. Yeah. So what is this gossip? So we cannot talk about gossip in such serious terms if we don't first define it. My definition for gossip is malicious rumor spoken about someone in their absence that could hurt them or hurt their reputation, and often this talk is accompanied with triangulation, communication triangulation. What is communication triangulation? You may have heard the word triangulation used in different domains and contexts before. Well, in this context, triangulation means while they are doing all that malicious rumor, by virtue of malicious, it says that there's some destructive intent there. By virtue of rumor, it qualifies what's said as something that's not true. Okay, and triangulation then is when they are engaged in all of this, they make sure they design the entire exchange of words or sharing of words. Well, the other participants in gossip may just be passive participants, or they may be active participants building up on the gossip or encouraging the gossiper with verbal and non-verbal insinuations like, they will go, really? Oh my God, that's so interesting. Isn't that exciting? They may even show facial expressions and that encourage the gossiper, right? Like, oh, those things, verbal and non-verbal. So they are active participants in that gossiping session. But there may be groups that are less active, but they're passive participants as well, because they're still like, or smiling, they're a little bit more passive than the active participants. So when the gossiping is going on, they design it in such a way that don't ever let her know that I told you these things. Therein lies the attractiveness or the seductiveness of gossip, doesn't it? Because, this is an inside thing. This is an us only thing. She's the outsider, or he's the outsider. We've got the sisterly or brotherly or family binding, or whatever, the clique binding between us. We are bonded, So all this makes the gossip feel the gossipers and the participants, either active or passive, feel a sense of belonging, right? So then this happens, and gossiping is bad. It's bad because it's untrue, because it's malicious, because it hurts, because it results in social ostracization. It results in a person's reputation being damaged, because gossipers and their loyal participants will not just stop at talking in that circle. They will spread the whispers beyond that group. So it is terrible. And being ostracized, becoming a victim of social aggression, because what they're doing here is actually social aggression, which is a form of a dysfunctional behavior, can hurt someone really badly. And when a person is vulnerable or weak or alone, it can lead them into depression. It can lead them even to consider suicide, or at the least they might choose to isolate themselves. They would withdraw. They would become very lonely, So this is actually very, very mean. Gossiping is very mean. Gossiping, by the definition I just shared with you. And if you happen to belong to any of this negative people category, that is, without realizing you were the gossiper, or perhaps you were a passive participant or an active participant, stop. Why? Gossiping, while it does hurt the victim or the target of the gossip, it also hurts you, the gossiper or the enabler or the participant. All of you do get hurt from gossip. Why? Remember this. We are all given an equal amount of one resource to make the most of our lives, of our other resources. Okay, that resource is time. And when you are using up this valuable resource, gossiping, you are robbing yourself. Of course, you're hurting someone else. That's really bad. But first and foremost, you're robbing yourself of valuable time that you could use to build yourself up, that you could use to learn new things, learn a new skill, that you could use to read some books to improve yourself, to acquire new personality traits and character qualities. So many things that you could do. You could use this time to learn how to cook healthy food. You could use this time to go for a walk or a jog, or time exercising in the gym and becoming healthier. So many constructive things that you could do for yourself, and you're wasting your time. The reason why people who gossip is because deep down inside they feel very, very insecure. They lack self-esteem, and if they appear to be very cheerful and confident, it's probably a facade. Okay, there's a hole inside. That self-confidence that they portray to the outside world is not sitting solidly on a base or rock hard foundation of self-esteem. They've never learned to love themselves, therefore they could not find it in them to love someone else, right? So this is why people gossip. And they also gossip because they feel they can never have what the other person has. So to kind of shift the light from all the virtues and qualities and strengths that someone has, they have to paint an ugly, dark shadow behind that person. So that they feel that, so that they can convince themselves that, so what if she has those things, but she has all of these bad qualities. And usually these are baseless, they are malicious, they are rumors, they are not true, they are meant to destroy the person. And the thing about gossipers, the primary gossipers, is that eventually they believe their own lies. So if you're a passive participant, stop, enforce a boundary, move away. It's a waste of your resource. Okay, don't do it. Don't even do it occasionally. Okay, and if you're a victim, here's the thing. You know what? If you're a victim, if you can develop the strength, to the resilience to withstand it all, and just focus on your own trajectory of progress, and just shift your attention from responding or even listening to all that malicious rumors being spoken and spread about you. Instead, focus on building yourself up. You will become visible to the world for all your virtuous qualities. After all, how much of influence do these gossipers have? How many people in this world can they influence? They can keep their circle to themselves. You have the whole world to go out and grasp and spread your goodness to, right? So remain resilient. Don't ever crush under the pressure of gossip and gossipers. And don't lose heart. Don't feel sad over the ostracization that is brought upon you time and again. You know what I realized? When people spread malicious rumors about you and others listen and distance themselves from you, the gossipers and the participants and the enablers are actually doing you a favor. They are filtering themselves out of your life, and they're probably not worth much in your life anyway. So thanks. So be grateful for this challenge. Keep growing, keep learning, and strive to achieve your fullest potential across all 8 pillars of life. If you like this video, look out for more. There will be one video like this every week.